Um, okay, Dr. Pitch, will you go ahead and talk about the program that you want us to participate in?
Yes, good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for having me with you today. So I am one of two assistant principals at Amastor Elementary School, and I would like some support in our BSAP, which is our Black Student Achievement Plan. We have our students who funds are allocated and resources to support our Black students and their communities in order to address the long-standing achievement gaps that exist between Black students and their non-Black peers. So basically, the district has provided additional funding for schools that have high level of African American students. Um, it provides allocation for teachers to have professional development, time to plan. Um, they also have PSA, which is a counselors that help support our students with their attendance and outreach for them. And in particular, mentoring is one of our biggest needs at our school. Many of our students are lacking effective role models at home, and even their parents have asked to see if we can provide some support in that way. We have an amazing group of students at Amastoy, and even our whole community. I'm new this year to Amastoy, but so far it's been an amazing school community, and we would really appreciate any support that you will be able to provide anytime that you're available. Of course, following district policy and guidelines, we would require anyone interested in participating and partnering with us to go through the volunteer application process, because anyone on campus needs to be properly vetted with background check, and especially since it's on campus, we require all of our volunteers to go through the district volunteer process.
Okay, are there any questions from the committee about the program or anything that might be on your mind about it?
Yeah, on the volunteers. So what type of volunteers, like you said, mentorship? Is it like taking on a student or several students? And do you
So
have
the-
something?
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
So we do have, for example, community nights at our campus. So this is like in the evenings where we provide, we had one couple months ago where we had different grade levels do different activities. And after in the evenings, it's really late in the evenings. Um, and we do require some support there. One of the activities that they did was talking about different types of hair, because for many of our students, hair is an issue that is part of their identity, and being accepting of their hair type. So we did a mini presentation on a book that talks about different types of hair, and then students did an activity, but all that requires additional support. We did also robotics with our upper grade students, and we needed support there with helping them to build a robot. And it's fairly easy. It's not, it sounds complicated, but it's not. It's very easy, but it's just the fact that engaging our students in a dialogue and discussion, and just having them have someone to listen to them. I think that goes a long way for us. But we also have volunteer opportunities during the day, where our BSAP coordinator, which is Ms. Fontanelle, unfortunately, she wasn't able to be with us today here, but she coordinates the BSAP program, and she does a lot of outreach with our communities, and she has book clubs, she has regular meetings with our BSAP students. She also has math boot camp for our students who are struggling in math and a master classes for art. So they get to learn about multimedia. If you have any skills in multimedia, technology, PowerPoints, Google Slides, things like that, that will help our students. That also is very appreciated.
I have a question. What does BSAP stand for?
So that is a
BSAP.
Black Student Achievement Plan, which was approved by our board, by our LAUSD board, February 2021.
Is that applicable to schools LAUSD wide?
No,
is it
not
just
all
Amazon?
district, not all district. It's not district wide. Eventually, they all schools will receive some form of funding. But for example, I come from Gardena, and Gardena does not have a high percentage of African American students or Black students, so they don't receive funding, additional funding through BSAP. But Amastoy does. We have a certain amount of student population that is required by the district so that we can get additional funding so that we can have BSAP on our campus.
I had a question for you. Amastoy has it. What other schools in the area have this program? Let me tell you who we have in our district. We've got Figueroa, we've got 135th, we've got, of course, Gardena, we've got 116th, we've got 118th Street. And then in the orphan area, there's Amastoy. And we also have a program at, it's Washington, I think it's called Prep on. Huh?
It's Washington Preparatory. That was my school, so I graduated from there. No.
Oh, are you a general?
Did you really?
Yes, I'm a general.
Did you really?
Oh, me too.
I was there when Dr. George McKenna was my principal, and he was still friend Jesse Jackson. I was in the Push for Excellence program. I don't want to get off, but yeah, that's why I was like, oh yeah, I know. I was just up there about 2 months ago. Yeah.
Oh, nice. I was
Washington
there with
Prep.
Miss Lamont. Rest her soul. God rest her soul.
Oh, really?
She passed away. Yes.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah.
Okay,
We'll talk.
Washington Prep is a high school. I
Yes.
just want to make, I just
Yes.
want to be
It's
very
the
clear.
magnet also
We
school.
had, I just want to be
Yeah.
very clear that we had it's called Washington, but it's not Washington. It's not the high school. It's the elementary school that's it's near Vermont and 111th Street.
Yes, it's around my area here.
Okay, very good. You guys were talking about Washington Prep. I was thinking about Washington Preparatory High School. Is that what you guys were talking about?
Yeah, we were talking about
Okay.
it took us way back.
So
Okay.
you're saying that they have a elementary school also named Washington?
Yes,
On
it's on the corner.
111th Street off of Vermont.
Okay.
Yeah. It's preschool, elementary, preschool, kindergarten, and first grade. Right there.
Okay.
So I don't want them to be confused. I don't want you to be confused about this.
Right.
Because we're talking about elementary schools right now.
So we have
Okay.
163rd, 116th, Avalon Gardens, Grape Street, Lamina, Normont, Norbonne. We have a lot of schools that have Chapman, Carson, Delamo, Gompers. We have a lot of schools.
But the ones that are in our,
they're listed. I'm trying to read them because there's two
Dr.
tiers.
Petch, I just want to be clear. I just want to be clear about this. Dr. Petch, we have like 6 of those elementary schools. But our Avalon Gardens, for example, is outside of our area. We have Figueroa Street, 116th,
Yes.
118th Street, Gardena, right, and 135th.
135th is has BSAP. Figueroa Street does too. Gardena Elementary does not, as far as I know. And which other one did you say? You had another one.
118th,
118th.
116th.
Yes, 118th Street Elementary does have BSAP.
Okay. Okay,
Yeah.
very, very, very good. Anybody
Is-
else
is-
have
is-
any?
can I ask a question?
Yeah.
I heard when he was mentioning the high school, which we had got confused. Do you offer this to high schools as well?
Yes, high schools and middle
Or-
schools. For example, Jordan High
schools?
has it.
Yes.
Mhm. Dodson.
Okay,
Middle School,
because. Oh, okay.
yeah.
So, how can I get literature on, get information on? Do you have any pamphlets, any hard copies of your, information?
Well, I'm sure we do. Like I said, this is my first year at Amastoy. I have worked at Gardena. That's where I met Mr. Lee, Gardena Elementary School for 16 years. And then this is my first year over at Amastoy. But right now I Googled LAUSD BSAP programs, and the whole plan comes out. It's about 40 pages. And it lists all the schools, it lists what the programs are, what the goals are. Mind you, I didn't know about BSAP. I mean, I heard it as a parent because I have 2 LA Unified students on elementary and middle school. So I do attend all the meetings that they have, and I heard about it, but I've never worked at a school that had BSAP. This is relatively new
Right.
as of 2021, I want to say. So I'm sure we can provide you with some pamphlets, brochures. Our BSAP coordinator, Ms. Fontenot, is an amazing coordinator, so she should have. She actually sent me a presentation because I didn't know if I was presenting a Google slide or if I was just talking. I thought it was Zoom, like we have our Zoom at work, where you can see people and you can share.
Right. Yes.
I don't know how you want me to forward you that information. I can forward
Can
it to Mr.
you
Lee.
can you give everyone the website or the that so they can look at it on their own, from this meeting? Can you give it to them the web address so they can pull it up and take a look at the definitive stuff about the program so they can get that? You understand what I'm
Is the
saying?
chat box open? Can I share through the chat box?
I guess you could.
It's just
I
been
can't see.
disabled. It's been disabled.
I know,
Maybe Miguel can
can
enable.
I see your email, my email, can we,
Yeah, so in
Excuse me,
order for
I-
you to
can we-
actually
can-
show your slides, Elda, I'm actually promoting you to a panelist so you can get those abilities.
Oh, okay. I did see that. I just didn't.
That's right. I'll request you again.
Okay.
So let's see.
Yeah, please.
You should be, and then I will assign you to a co-host, and that should give you abilities to screen share. Let's see.
Screen share, right?
That's the email.
Yes. All right. I think it should be ready.
Miguel, how can I see that from my phone?
I don't think you can.
What type of phone? I can't see. I have it on my computer.
But I mean,
Gotta go my computer.
like I said, this meeting is recorded, so you can look at the meeting.
Yes, and can we share email address, ma'am? That's the word I was trying to think of. I just came right home from work and I haven't wind down or
Yeah.
anything to the meeting. So I'm just like trying to, at the same time, because, yeah, I hadn't even had a chance to take
Yeah,
five.
let
Okay, so, I'm ready.
Okay.
Okay, I'm looking at it. I see it
Mhm.
on the screen. Does everybody have that ability to see it right
Yeah,
now?
well, I can see it on my screen.
Yeah, I can see it too. Everyone that's on that computer should be able to.
RV,
Yes,
can you see it?
yes, I can see it. Yeah, I see cheerleaders
Okay.
and look like it's in front of Gardena High School. Is that Gardena High School? It looks like Gardena. Yep, that
Yeah.
is. Yep, but that's my old alma mater right there.
Yeah.
Everybody can see
RV
but
was
me.
seen by the president,
I'll
everybody.
see.
Oh, really?
And could you give me the correct spelling of Amestoy?
MESTOY.
AMESTOY.
AMESTOY. Amestoy.
Thank you.
Okay. Dr. Petch, you still
A
there?
instead of a E.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was on mute. So I have the Mr. Lee, if you notice, I have the local district south, for District 7 schools. So it's all
Yes.
here, so you can take a look at that, but there's 2 tiers. Because they rolled it out in tiers. So the first tier, and then then if you scroll down, you'll see Manchester 135th, and then more schools on the right-hand side. You'll see San Pedro High School. There are high schools, elementaries, and middle schools schools that have BSAP.
Tell me, I'm sorry, Dr. Petch, tell
Yes.
me at some of the elementary schools that are participating, what are some of the things that they actually did or accomplished within the last year in this program?
I can only speak about what I've seen, simply because, like I said earlier, I do not have experience in the past working with BSAP. This is my first year. But basically they communicate with, they provide teachers with professional development time. Like, for example, 2 Saturdays ago, we worked on Saturday. The teachers looked at books and that are geared towards, the authors are African Americans, the characters were African Americans, so that the students can see themselves in literature. And so the teachers are developing curriculum and units surrounding that particular book. And so they need time to plan. So that's why they get professional development, they get time extra so that they can plan and collaborate with their grade level peers. There's also community nights where we have really late evening, 5 to 6 workshops for our students geared towards their age level. So last time, like I said, we did robotics for the upper grades, and they created little machines that they had races, and we looked at different types of literature that talk about the hair. So they do, and they have PSA as the pupil services counselor that does outreach, because many of our African American students, one of the things that hinders them is attendance. So we are trying to make sure that that families feel supported if they have any special needs, like, for example, clothing or food. We have a parent advocator, also part of BSAP, and they also provide support in that way. Social emotional support. We have counselors on campus that can provide that. We have a licensed therapists, our PSW and our PSAs. They are licensed therapists, so they can provide immediate support. We have um different types through BSAP. We have different types of resources that our parents can, gain support in that way.
Okay,
So this
Uh,
one here is more that I like the fact that you all are geared towards helping. This is more like preparing them for life skills and being able to be productive and also social skills. I'm hearing and what in the younger where it starts. You said middle school. And that's good because a lot of people are pretty much afraid to work with the older, but the younger kids are more impressionable, but we need the kids that need that didn't get it. And they're going into society, into adulthood. So they really need it. I'm a juvenile probation officer. So this is the reason why and we need these programs. And that's why I think that this is really good, but this is geared more towards the adult, the middle age where they're going and they need to start having these skills to be productive. So that's why I said we need to connect with the emails because this is a great resource to have for our youth that, for this program that, like you said, the ages from middle school up. Not
Right.
saying that the younger kids don't, but it's more programs for them, but it's kids that don't have any skills and don't even know how to sit at the table and eat properly, because they're used to being on their phones and just not even knowing how to really shop. And it teaches you also
Basic life skills.
the financial literacy. Financial literacy is very needed for our kids too.
Mhm.
African American, because it's already been in the other races. So they need to be exposed to that financial literacy as well. So I really would like to get more information about your program. That's why I was asking you for literature.
Yes, we definitely do have that. Ms. Fontenot said that if there's any other questions, she and I can both be the links to school. That way,
Mhm.
we can both team up and provide you with any information you require.
Mhm. Do you have an email
but
address?
remember that
Yes.
this is a informal discussion with our committee members because we didn't have a quorum. But what we need to do as a committee, we have a quorum, and we need to vote on sending this back to our board, So as a recommendation, so we won't be able to take any action on this tonight, but I just want everybody to hear about it, and we can make a determination as to whether what we'd like to do moving forward. Is that correct, Miguel?
Yes. Oh,
Okay.
But that
So
doesn't have
thank you,
anything to
Dr.
do with her
Goodman.
email address. Getting her email address doesn't have anything with taking that
she
back to
can
the
do
board. I
that.
was just asking for the email address. So, because this is very informative and I would like to connect whether the board takes it in or not, because I have some people that could use these resources here. Like I
Dr.
stated
Ketch?
before, because of because what I do and it's really needed. So I would like to, because I've never heard of BSAP before. So it's really,
Dr.
it sounds
Ketch,
good.
could
I
you
put in,
share? Can you
I
share
put,
your email address with
I
everyone
can't see
on
the
the
chat.
call?
It's on my
I
phone.
already put it
It's
in
on
the
my
chat.
phone. So
Okay.
I can't see the
can
chat.
see
That's
it.
Oh,
what I was
it's
trying to ask Miguel,
E.
but I'll get it from Miguel. I'll get
Let
it from
me.
Miguel. Thank you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I can get it later. No worries. I can get it. As long as you put it there, because like he was saying, it's being recorded. So I just, yeah. Thank you so much.
There it is. Also.
Thanks.
Well, thank you so much for giving me the platform to discuss BSAP and
Well, thank you,
see
Dr.
if there's
Pitch.
any way that, once you do have quorum and you decide, just think about us. Miss Curry is an amazing principal. She is very welcoming. And we'll take it from there. And thank you so much once again for giving me the platform to discuss my
Okay,
amazing new
well,
school.
I'm sure that everybody on the committee will agree, just like Barbara Tyson, that this is a very important program and that we would like to take it on as a project at some point in time with the neighborhood council. But we just need to have our folks agree on that, and we can move it forward.
Right.
Just for your information, Dr. Petch worked with me and David. What was David's last name? Our former president.
Matthew?
We worked on
Matthew.
what? Matthews.
Matthew.
We worked on. I said Matthews. Yes, we
Mhm.
worked on several projects with Gardena Elementary before the pandemic came on. One of them was one career fair at Gardena, and we did
Yes.
some other book fair, a book
Uh-huh.
drop, and things like that. And we actually took. Were you there, Dr. Pitts? We took kids downtown to City Hall.
Yes, yes. I didn't go. I wasn't fortunate, but I got to see the pictures.
Yeah, we took about 85 students from Gardena Elementary down to and they met with the city councilman and the entire council, and they got a tour of City Hall. I think we did that twice,
Mm-hmm.
as I recall.
Yes, it was great.
It was very informative, and they got a chance to get out of the neighborhood and get to see, how government works, and and that kind of thing. That's what we did. So it was good to see you, Doctor. It was good to hear from you, Dr. Pitch.
Likewise.
And
Thank you so much.
okay, so I need to move on. And if you want to stay on, you can. If you want to get out of the call, you can. But we appreciate you being here to share the BSAP program to us.
Thank you.
I have another question. I'm sorry. My question is, you have to sign up to volunteer at the school district. So which school district where one sign up at?
So it's done through also I did it when I volunteered for my daughter's school. I went online. There's a online application form that you can do, or we're in the process of getting a community rep, and she's the one that pretty much follows through with our application for volunteers.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Thank you very much. Miguel, did you want to, you had an item on the agenda, and you wanted to share some information with the members here. Although
Yes,
we're not
yeah,
having.
definitely. And actually, Dr. Petch, thank you for the presentation, and I'll give this information to whoever needs it. And yeah, if I have the opportunity, I would like to volunteer and help out as much as I can too. That would be really nice.
Thank you.
No problem. So the one of the agenda items on your agenda, Richard, it noted about was talking about the Stanford Avenue project and any updates on that. So as of now, like I've been mentioning it before, we've secured the $2,500 matching grant from the beautification offices of Los Angeles. The only step that I need to do is to fill out the permits, which I already have done. But now, to solidify that package, I need to get a letter of support from the offices of Tim McCosker. And I've been doing that, getting into contact with the field deputy, Nicholas Chavez. And the thing is that it's been a little bit over a month. It's gonna be a month now, and I'm still waiting on that letter. And I've been telling him that, can you please expedite it? Hopefully, by the end of this week or the end of this month. So I'm hoping that he does give me that letter of support from the offices of Tim McCosker, so I could just email all that to Jared Valito, who is in charge of all the permitting. And from there, I could just head out to City Hall and actually get a prepaid debit card for the amount of $2,500, and I could start getting ready and calling on volunteers to help out. So that's pretty much it. That's the whole entire update
Great.
on that project.
For the benefit of those who are not really familiar with the beautification program that you're proposing, that we want to move forward with, can you give us a little summary of what it's all about and
Oh yeah,
where it's
definitely. So basically, the
Okay, go
permitting
ahead.
thing. So the permitting process is it's kind of the same thing as the uh, what do they call it? Midway Street permit. Basically, whenever you go to Vermont Avenue, you see that little those islands, right? So
Yes.
yeah, basically, it's one of those kind of type of permits where it's just something that they could process through in a couple of weeks. So it's like it's already made, it's already filled. Those projects permits are really are special types of permits, from what I've heard, that they just expedited. So, for example, we're just doing a simple landscaping project. So, Jared Valito just told me that all you need to do is fill out the plant a plan where the plants are going to be planted, how they're going to be oriented, if there's going to be any need for irrigation systems to have those in place. And since we're just only planting native drought-resistant plants, we don't really need too much watering, or we don't really need an irrigation system. So that's why we're asking for volunteers around the neighborhood, myself included. I'm going to volunteer to water those plants until they get established. But it's a fairly easy process. They only require me to have that plan, like I mentioned, have a letter of support, and let's see, the purpose and the reason why we want that project to be done. That's already been filled out by me as a project manager, and yeah, it should be quick, and all the permitting is free. It's paid for by the city of LA, so we don't have to spend any
Is
money
that
on it.
your dog?
What was that?
Is that your dog?
Yeah, sorry.
Okay. It
She
sounds like he wants to get on the on the call.
yeah, she can be quite feisty sometimes.
Hmm.
But sorry about that. But
Hey,
it's an easy process. It's really streamlined, and it's kind of a special process for us. And he said that he needs a letter of support from Tim McCosker, because since we had not Jim, Joe Buscaino, they kind of, just in case of let's say in the future there's a new, they're going to have like a project in that area, and they need an updated letter. In this case, they need a letter from the incoming, now uh, present council member, so for them to verify that they approved it, so they won't have to demolish or like uproot all those plants. So that's why I kind of needed an extra letter of support from Tim McCosker, so will avoid any confusions in the future. But
okay.
after,
There's
yeah.
there's another project
Hello.
like that on Main Street, right in 118th, near 118th Street, correct?
Yeah, but I think Angela tried to apply and it didn't go through. But
Oh,
yeah, so this is the only one that actually passed, because I think from the applicant pool of 52 applicants, only, I believe, probably I'm wrong, but 5 to 7 people got granted that money from the city. So we're one of them. But I told Angela, it doesn't mean anything. Like with that money, we have another $2,100 from this Clean Streets Fund. We can allocate that for another beautification project. So, you know,
Okay, very
so
good.
and I told her, this is a work in progress. I mean, work in process. This is a process that's going to take a while because I mean, we're going to plant the plants, but we also have, as a neighborhood council, we are committed to
Keep 'em.
clean the area, keep the area clean as much as possible, but also just continue to fill the area with whatever plants and stuff like that. Because with the budget that we have, it's you will probably have plants, but it's going to be sparse. But hopefully, eventually, over time, we can get some donations and fill up any spaces that are empty. So hopefully, with that, like the kids will start walking, or anyone of that matter can walk through, the underpass with, plants instead of like trash and stuff. So that's the
Okay,
plan. So hopefully it works out, and it will. And that will be something that we, you know, can be happy about and be prideful about as a community. So
very
hopefully
good.
hopefully it's like a pilot program. I mean, I know other cities, they have that kind of stuff. So hopefully, it catches on, and they can do something about that. Yeah.
Yeah, I just want to say one thing. Go easy on Nicholas because they got a lot on their plate. They just stepped into office, and the mayor just called a state of emergency with the homeless, and we got homeless encampments on our block, and we got people breaking in cars and all this stuff, and they're working on something much stronger than putting plants out here right now. People are out on the streets,
But Barbara,
and
the
they're
thing is that I notified them when I talked to Tim McCosker. I told him personally through his phone and stuff, through his personal cell phone. He said he's well aware of the situation, and he's going to support that project. It's because I need this as soon as possible
he does what
because
he
they're.
says. He does what he says. He's been working. I know what's going on because
Well,
I've
me
been
too,
working
but
with the homeless as well.
I know. But the
So
thing
I
is
was
that
just
we have
saying,
a deadline, and that deadline, if we don't, achieve that deadline, all the efforts that I put into for almost a year now will go in
so what's
vain.
the deadline? So what's the deadline we have for the letter to come through?
It needs to be as soon as possible because I want to finish this. The project
I
has
know,
been
but
approved, and it takes 6 months. You need to finish this
it takes
project within 6
6 months.
months. It's
Okay,
already
I'm
been
just
one
saying.
month.
By August.
1 month. Okay. Well, I was just concerned about that because we do have other things that are more important right now, and I know the state of emergency for homeless. So, and I
But I
don't know
mean,
if
this
you're
is a
having that
project.
problem. My car just got stolen. Just a lot of things that
Barbara,
when you're living in this
this is a
environment,
completely
and
different issue. The thing is that
I know. So it's
the,
okay. I was just speaking on what's more important: the beautification or
but this is the
the
same thing.
safety and the welfare of the people and the kids walking to school and the people using drugs, bathing outside and they're private and our kids walking down the street. I think that's more important
No,
than
but the thing
putting some plants
no,
out
no,
in
no.
front. I understand that that it's a deadline
Look,
and I get it, but I know that there are things that they are working on and you have to prioritize when you work in his position right now. So I'm not saying that the
look,
beautification is
then,
not is
look.
not
The thing
important.
is that I'm not
You
really sure
know,
if you're aware of
I'm
what
not
he's been
saying that it's
doing.
not important.
I
but
don't know
then
if
you know
you're.
what?
No,
I
Arvila,
think I think
the
we
thing
need to
is,
just. Oh, anyway, go
the
ahead.
thing is that I don't know if you looked up at what he's been doing right down in San Pedro,
Mhm.
but he's also been supporting
Mhm.
beautification projects that he filed motions on City Hall. And
Mhm.
but the thing is that I've talked to Dora Rosa, principal of 116th Street Elementary School, and she said that
Mhm.
she is in line with this project because she's been receiving lots of complaints about parents saying that it's the walking at the underpass is unsafe for the kids. So I told her, okay,
Yeah.
as a neighborhood
Yes.
council, and that's a priority because I mean you've been saying about it in the past, And even right now,
Mhm.
that the priority is about the kids. So, and the legal
Yeah.
dumping that's around that area.
Mhm.
So, I mean, look, the
Right.
plants is supposed to help with
Well,
illegal dumping shoot, because right now, if you go under the underpass, it looks barren. But with something as simple as plants or a berry of some sorts, it will deter people
we have
from doing
barriers
something.
now.
Excuse
They
me?
put the barriers up with the street. They on my block, right on San Pedro on 116. They just put up the no parking signs, and also they have the barriers. You know, where only you can go through is the park, is the bike lane.
Yes, I know.
They,
I'm aware of that.
yeah. They're working, so it's some stuff getting done. I was just saying that we have been waiting on that project, and I know that, you know, they are working, and I know that the state of emergency with the homeless. So I didn't mean it to say that what your project was
Well,
not important too. I'm not
but
saying that.
it
And
seemed
if
like
we
that.
took
But
it
I
wrong
mean,
in
the
that
thing
manner,
is
I
that
apologize.
it's a deadline, and I honestly, I mean, a lot of people, even Richard and the people from the principal and even the parents of 116th Street School like this project,
Mhm.
because I went there over a weekend, and I talked to the parents about it, and they were all in line. So they are, they're anticipating this thing as soon as possible. So it's not, I told them, it's going to be a process. We have to apply, and we already got that. So I'm hoping that Nicholas comes through, because, it's something that
He
it's
will.
needed. So,
He will.
You will.
yeah.
I believe that they're going to do. He's just getting started. I know Nicholas is going to do, and he's doing a great job. He's been out cleaning up under the underpasses by himself. He was there yesterday when I came home, cleaning and trying to do his part, doing his part. So I just felt that when you said that, I kind of, because I'm seeing his hard work. And me and Nicholas used to clean the streets together, and I'm so proud that he got the position, because he's a hardworking young man and he's really trying. So I just, yeah, we were out on Saturdays cleaning many a days up and down
Okay. Well,
116th to 135th, you know. So
yeah, but let's stick to whatever the
yeah,
agenda is.
I'm speaking to what we're
Well,
talking
we're
about.
not
It's
on
just you.
the,
Yeah.
uh,
So I'm done.
may
Thank
I
you. I
interject?
didn't need to
May
send
I
anyone.
interject?
My lips are
Hello, may I
sealed.
interject a comment? Okay, we're not, we're not on the agenda. We were just having basically a presentation
Mhm.
and
Exactly.
discussion. And so this is good. It's very
Mhm.
spirited and it's good. I don't have anything else to add. Does anybody have anything else they wanted to add for the good of the committee?
Yes,
Go ahead.
we'll be having our Black History program on Saturday from 11 to 3 at Rosecrans Park, Vermont and Redondo. Everyone come out and participate and enjoy yourself.
Oh yeah, and it's going to be actually indoors,
Yes.
from what they told me. So even if it rains,
Come on
people
out.
also, people will be dry. It will be in the
Yeah,
gymnasium, so it won't be a big problem.
everyone support that program.
Oh, definitely. I'm going to be there too, and Angela
It's
will be there.
outreach, right? It's the
Yes.
outreach committee.
Yes, it's
in
outreach.
that. Okay. Okay, very good. All
That's
right.
it.
If there are no other comments, I would like to just say goodbye to everybody and thanks for being here. And we might have to try to reschedule this meeting or something
Okay.
if
And
we
remember,
can.
Richard,
Because
our next meetings will be
It's going to be in
the
person. Yep.
Yes, in person.
right.
Yeah, and I tried to
Everybody
set up
have a
everything, so hopefully it should be recorded or streamed. So
Okay.
I'm working on that.
Okay.
So to anyone who can attend in person, stakeholders wise, they can see it live or recorded either way. So
We're talking about the board meeting, right?
Oh yeah, definitely. Board meetings, committee meetings. If you guys wanted to have it recorded for people to see, I could provide that service. Excuse me.
Okay. Thank you, Miguel. Thank you,
No
Angela.
problem.
Thank you, Barb. Thank you,
Okay.
Jackie.
Mhm.
Okay, and
then
thank you,
thank you,
Barb.
Frankie.
You guys have a blessed and safe week.
Right. Okay, you guys
Okay,
stay
same
safe,
to all.
stay
Be
masked up
safe.
if you like, and have a great night.
Stay dry.
Okay, great.
All right, thank
Bye-bye.
you.
All right. See ya.
All right.